407 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation conceived in liberty. Do these words sound familiar? They are. They are the beginning of the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln, 16th President, the great orator known to many as Honest Abe. Today, I'm going to talk about his sacrifice, determination, and humble beginnings. Abraham Lincoln was born February 12, 1809, to Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks in Kentucky. When the young Abe wasn't doing chores around the house, he attended school a couple of miles down the road from their home. He had a fragmented education. The local schoolhouse ignited his passion for reading. He had an inquiring mind, and he yearned for knowledge. When Abe was 7, the family moved to Indiana. It was a 100-mile trek. They lived in a harsh backwoods community amid squalor and exposure to the elements. He spent his 8th birthday living in a lean-to, which amounted to living in a homemade shelter. During this time period, he helped his father build their iconic log cabin. It was there that he learned to deftly wield an axe and had a massive growth spurt. Shortly after Lincoln's mother passed away, his father went to Kentucky in search of a new wife. He returned with a widow named Sarah Bush Johnston. She was kind, encouraging, and supportive of the young Abraham's intellectual pursuits. Although young Abraham struggled, he tried to find an education everywhere he went. Lincoln gained real-world experience through hard labor and odd jobs. During his early teens, he continued to borrow books and read as often as possible. He began to plow and plant for neighbors. During his late teens, at 19 years old, Lincoln, with another young man named Allen Gentry, took a flatboat ride to New Orleans with a cargo of farm produce. Upon arrival to New Orleans, he experienced a formative moment, as Lincoln observed a slave auction. This was his first true experience of social injustice. New Orleans was also his first encounter of an enchanting new world. Foreign sights, sounds, smells, exotic languages, it opened his world up. At 21 years old, his family moved 200 miles to Illinois, near Decatur, along the Sangamon River. This experience prompted him to deliver his first political speech in favor of improving navigation on the Sangamon River. At 22 years old, his family moved again, but Abe opted for independence and chose to settle by himself in New Salem, Illinois. 1 year later, he created a campaign for the Whig Party. He married Mary Todd, and they had 4 sons. Years later, he became a member of the United States House of Representatives. He was chosen to be the Republican candidate for the presidency. In 1860, he was elected 16th President of the United States. During the first year of his presidency, the Civil War began. He was known for many things. Among these, he created a national banking system which standardized currency. His most famous speech, the Gettysburg Address, is considered to be one of the most famous speeches in the annals of American history. In 1863, 3 years later, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, in which he famously declared that all persons held as slaves are, and henceforward shall be free.
April 14th, 1865. 5 days after General Robert E. Lee surrenders, America is shocked to hear that Abraham Lincoln had been shot at the Ford Theater in Washington, D.C. His assassin, John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate actor. Booth feared that the African-American population would soon get the vote due to Lincoln's initiatives and felt he must put a stop to it. He initially planned to kidnap Lincoln, but as the supporters fell away, he was left with an assassination plan. At a theater performance, Booth mortally wounded the president with 1 shot through the chest. He was able to escape with the help of a Confederate spy, Thomas A. Jones, only to be caught later that night and shot by a Union cavalryman. Many felt the country faced disaster in the wake of the president's assassination. Abraham